Choco Bank begins by showing a young man named Eun Haeng counting money for his customers. During break time, Eun Haeng sends money through smartphone to his mother. Not long after, his mother called and said he didn't have to do that. But Eun Haeng spoke as if he had a big salary and a lot of money. So he then assured his mother that he never objected to doing that. But all that was just a dream during the day when he fell asleep leaning against the glass window of the ATM room. Then a man who works as a security guard came to Eun Haeng to wake him up. The man asked if he was a bank employee in this office, and he said yes. But when the man saw the scribbles on Eun Haeng's job vacancy newspaper, he immediately knew that he was lying and told him to leave. Meanwhile, at Eun Haeng's house, his mother, Lee Il-hwa, was calling her friends one by one. She informed them that her son was currently working at the financial bank. As Eun Haeng was walking home, he got a call from his mother. She asks when he gets his first salary because she wants to celebrate his acceptance of work. He then lied by saying he would receive his salary next week on Wednesday. His mother said she would schedule the celebration on Wednesday with her friends. Then the phone line was immediately turned off by Eun Haeng. When Eun Haeng was hopeless and hoping for a miracle, a man suddenly ran after a woman towards him. The man shouted at him that he would be rewarded if he caught the woman. But after Eun Haeng caught the woman, the man ran away with all the money in the bag. After he discovered the truth, the woman asked Eun Haeng to replace all the money she had lost. She invites him to go to her shop to discuss compensation. Arriving at the shop, they sat together. Eun Haeng then read the woman's name tag that said Ha Choco, then laughed at her. Choco immediately asked him for his name and other personal details. But when he said that his name was Eun Haeng, she was annoyed that she thought it was a joke. Then he immediately showed his identity card as evidence, and she believed him. From this identity, she knows that Eun Haeng's house is close to where she lives. But when Choco asked what his job was, Eun Haeng was reluctant to answer and asked why she asked this. She replied that she wanted to calculate the installments that he had to pay up to 5 million won. He answered that he was unemployed. But she doesn't believe it because his clothes look neat and clean. Eun Haeng, who has no money, is forced to accept Choco's offer to work at her shop until the debt is paid off. If he doesn't want to be responsible, Choco threatens to come to his house and tell his family that he has been going out wearing that kind of clothes, but not really for work. Then she handed over a letter of agreement to be signed together. Eun Haeng then agrees to the agreement to cover up his lies to his mother. The next day during the store's operating hours, Choco was still thinking about all the unfortunate events she had yesterday. The scene then has flashbacks starting from when Choco fell asleep at the shop dining table and had a sweet dream. In the dream, she made cakes and various chocolate preparations. During these 3 months, she has managed to open a chocolate cafe with a variety of delicious desserts and has many customers. Choco woke up from sleep after the old woman called Ajuma shouted for her. Ajuma immediately took out some notes to calculate her debt and asked her to pay it off. Because the shop was operating from the beginning, she had not paid the rent at all. If she doesn't have the money yet, Ajuma advises her to borrow money from the bank. Choco immediately went to a bank to look for a loan. When the female bank clerk asked for her identity card for registration, Choco seemed hesitant to give it. After the bank employee read her name, she immediately burst into laughter. The bank clerk said she felt so happy today that she kept laughing. The scene returns to the present. After Choco wakes up from her daydream, she scolds Eun Haeng because he was the one she had to lose all the money she borrowed from the bank. While cleaning the dirty shop floor, Eun Haeng was then annoyed by slamming the broom and approaching Choco. He said he would reimburse 5 million won right now, but she didn't seem to believe it. Finally, Eun Haeng raised funds through the crowdfunding page on the internet. At that time the funds were collected and Choco was very happy. On the other hand, Eun Haeng looks very surprised to see Choco, who doesn't know how to organize and manage a business. But she still thinks that only making delicious chocolate is the main thing that will make a business successful. After the business was finished, Eun Haeng immediately left but was restrained by Choco. She offers him cooperation with a profit-sharing system, but he refuses because he wants to experience passing the test when applying for a job at a bank. But suddenly, Eun Haeng changed his mind after reading his mother's short message about tomorrow's celebration. His mother's message made him willing to work together for 1 month with Choco. The two immediately developed a business and marketing strategy using a laptop. The next morning, Choco was seen in a hurry to go to the bank. Eun Haeng, astonished, asked why she wanted to go there even though she had been against going to the bank all this time. She then explains the reason and is detained by him. Finally, Eun Haeng explained that banking transactions no longer need to go to the bank. Currently, he can make transactions through internet banking on smartphone. After successfully registering for internet banking, Choco immediately set up the remaining balance for investment and saving. A few moments later, 3 women came to eat dessert there, but they didn't have enough cash when they wanted to pay the 7,001 bill. Seeing them confused, Eun Haeng came to them and suggested they make payments on internet banking. They agreed and teased him by asking for his cell phone number. After that, Eun Haeng approached Choco, who was at the cash register. He saw a cake that said "I'm kill you." He then asked what the writing meant. She replied that it was an expression of a heartbroken woman. He said that the writing was wrong. Not long after, a man who was taking a call came to the shop. Choco immediately asked him what he wanted to order. After a misunderstanding and quarrel between them, Eun Haeng defends Choco and immediately kicks the man out of there. Choco, who felt annoyed, immediately threw the man a cake. After the shop closed, they seemed to regret what had happened in the shop. They talked about the store's reputation, which might be ruined after this. On the sidelines of their chat, Eun Haeng complained about his bad luck while looking for work. But Choco told how unlucky life happened to her friend 10 years ago. Her friend's mother died in an accident, and her father did not want to take care of her, so she had to stay at her grandmother's house. To buy chocolate for 101 alone did not have money, so she made herself a chocolate maker. She quit school and only slept for 4 hours a day. Now she even wrote wrong "I'm kill you" instead of "I will kill you." Eun Haeng smiled when he realized what Choco meant, as her friend was herself. Choco said that she understood Eun Haeng's tiredness very well because she had experienced bitter things in her life since childhood. He then said that he would try to give her happiness. Not long after, a man named by Dal Soon came. He shouted and called Choco by her first name, Nona, and immediately hugged her. Dal Soon said that he really misses Mal Na Yun Nona while hugging Choco. Eun Haeng was confused by this. Then the scene changes and shows a flashback in Dal Soon's memory. Dal Soon knew Choco when he was little. At that time, he saw a boy named Jin Wo at the bakery with his mother. But he could only look at his friend from the window outside the shop. Little Dal Soon dreams of becoming a bakery owner so he can eat as much bread as he wants. Then came little Choco over to little Dal Soon, who was still standing in front of the bakery. She gives him a bar of chocolate. After that incident, Dal Soon changed his dream. He dreams of marrying the owner of a chocolate shop. Now they are both adults. Dal Soon is jealous because Choco seems to like Eun Haeng. Dal Soon and Choco had a fight at the cashier's desk because he wanted to stay at her house until he got a job, but she refused. Not long after, a 40-year-old woman came to buy a low-calorie drink and cake. When she saw Dal Soon, who looked cute to her, she teased him. It turns out that Dal Soon replied to her temptation. Eun Haeng, who saw the incident, could only shake his head. Not long after, 3 women who were friends of the previous woman came. They eat together at the shop's dining table with Dal Soon, who seems to be laughing. Choco and Eun Haeng stared at them from the counter while chatting. In the middle of the chat, Eun Haeng asked about Choco's relationship with Dal Soon. She explains that she only considers Dal Soon as her childhood friend. While staring at Dal Soon and the 4 women, Eun Haeng said to Choco, "How can Dal Soon be that close to a woman who is much older than his age?" But Choco responded casually because she saw they looked so happy and familiar with each other. Then the position changed. Currently, Eun Haeng is at the women's dining table. He explained the world of banking and finance like an expert. Choco and Dal Soon were standing at the counter looking at them. Dal Soon gets jealous because Choco looks at Eun Haeng, smiling like a woman in love. Eventually, the two of them got into a small fight, and Choco kept saying that Eun Haeng was much better than him. Then she told him to clean up and take out the shop's trash. When Dal Soon walks outside the shop to take out the trash, the plastic waste is perforated, and the trash is scattered all over the place. Dal Soon, who was annoyed as he stepped on the trash, accidentally found Eun Haeng's resume in a pile of shop trash. He read it and then took it into the shop to show the 4 women. Arriving at the store, Dal Soon immediately showed Eun Haeng's resume and read it. It turns out that Eun Haeng has been unemployed for 5 years and has never managed to get a job. Eun Haeng, who felt embarrassed, immediately left the shop. Then Choco ran after him. While trying to cross the road, Choco almost got hit by a car. Eun Haeng, who saw the incident, immediately ran over to her. They ended up drinking soju at a roadside tavern. On the other hand, Dal Soon, who is still in the shop alone, continues to read Eun Haeng's resume to the end. How surprised he is when he discovers the sad story of Eun Haeng's past written on the resume. Dal Soon, who feels guilty, immediately catches up with Eun Haeng and Choco. At the same time, Choco, who seemed drunk, almost spoke her heart to Eun Haeng, but failed. Because soon, Dal Soon came to hug Eun Haeng to apologize for what happened at the shop earlier. The next day, Choco remembered when she and Eun Haeng didn't know each other. He picks up her chocolate that fell when she peddles her chocolate on the side of the road. From then on, she always remembered Eun Haeng's face and liked him. She hopes that one day she can meet him again. Her wish came true. She met again when Eun Haeng was mistaken for a bag thief. Moments later, Dal Soon makes a promotional video for Choco's store with the slogan "Free Financial Consulting." Eun Haeng, who felt insecure, initially refused to do so. But unfortunately, the video has gone viral and many people are interested in consulting. Then came a woman who was interested in asking them to cooperate. Dal soon feels happy and excited to say yes. On the other hand, Eun Haeng is still considering it. However, after renegotiating, he finally agreed to the collaboration. The next morning, Choco wrote free financial consultation on a banner in front of her shop. Eun Haeng began to wear neat clothes like a businessman. Many women are in awe of Eun Haeng to the point of making Choco feel jealous. Not long after, the woman who asked them to cooperate came again to the shop. But this time she came with a man, namely Director Kim Seung-Yoon of Financial Bank. Seung-Yoon is intrigued by Eun Haeng's expertise. Suddenly Eun Haeng's mother called him and said she wanted to deliver lunch to his office. Eun Haeng, who felt panicked, immediately said goodbye to his mother and left them all. When Eun Haeng arrived in front of an office, Eun Haeng's mother gave him lunch and asked him to go inside the office immediately. But he said that if he ate the lunch inside, it would cause a smell in the room. Finally, Eun Haeng's mother came home on foot. Eun Haeng returned to the shop and sat down with Choco, Dal-soon and the woman. It seems that the woman fell in love with Eun Haeng and asked him out on a date. She asked Choco for permission to have Eun Haeng. Choco, who felt prestige, said she didn't mind if they were in a relationship. Then the woman gave Director Seung-Yoon's business card to Eun Haeng for an interview tomorrow. She said that the director was her uncle. Eun Haeng seems confused about choosing between accepting the offer and achieving his dream of wanting to build a business with Choco. After the shop closed, Choco asked Eun Haeng if he would come for the interview tomorrow. Eun Haeng, who was annoyed with her, answered yes. That night, Choco reminisced about her past Valentine's Day. When Valentine arrived, she always felt heartbroken until she wondered if this year's Valentine would be the same. The next day when Valentine's Day arrived, many customers were waiting in front of the shop which was still closed. Choco immediately got up and tidied up her shop to immediately serve the customers. It turned out that they were interested in coming to the store because there were free financial consulting services. But Choco felt confused about explaining everything to them. On the other hand, Eun Haeng, who had arrived at the financial bank, suddenly decided to return to the shop and help Choco. After Eun Haeng returned to the shop, everything went back to normal as usual. When the shop was quiet, they finally chatted. Choco asked why he returned, and Eun Haeng said he wanted to make her happy. A woman came soon, who turned out to be Eun Haeng's mother. She came with a newspaper that preached about his son. Finally, she finds out that her son has been lying to her all this time. Eun Haeng, who feels that he is always being controlled by his mother, suddenly gets angry and yells at her. Shocked by her son's words, she fainted and was rushed to the hospital. Eun Haeng, who saw his mother recovering, immediately called Choco. He only gave the news that now his mother had recovered, but he would never come back again, and Choco was asked not to wait for him. Instantly she felt that every Valentine's Day, she must feel heartbreak. Long story short, 1 year has passed. Dal-soon now has a new job. When Dal-soon delivers chocolates to a customer, he is offered a job as an advertisement star. Currently, Choco only maintains the chocolate shop alone. She returned to peddling her chocolate on the roadside to promote it. On the other hand, Eun Haeng ends up working at a financial bank. But after he succeeded in becoming a bank employee, he felt this profession was unsuitable. When recess arrived, Eun Haeng's mother came to meet him at the office to have lunch together. She said she would travel abroad for 1 month to live her own life. She advised him that, if he felt uncomfortable working there, don't force it. Finally, Eun Haeng resigned and chose to return to the store. When Eun Haeng arrives at the shop, he sees Choco and Dal-soon chatting. Choco, who couldn't believe Eun Haeng's return and only thought of it as an illusion, accidentally elbowed him until Eun Haeng fell. Dal-soon and Choco immediately help him up. In the end, Dal-soon goes on a date with a woman they work with. Meanwhile, Eun Haeng finally confessed his love for Choco. The moral that can be learned from this movie is to keep trying, even though sometimes it doesn't match reality. Stay confident. One day, your efforts will pay off. And one thing, don't force yourself to follow other people to make them happy. But make yourself happy so other people will feel it too.